Welcome back. His stunning insurgency in the March primary was as devastating and surgical as the Navy SEAL operations he once helped lead. Now, Republican Dan Crenshaw is locked in a head-to-head runoff with Kevin Roberts in a battle to succeed Ted Poe in Congressional District 2. Dan, welcome to the hot seat.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
All right, it didn't take long for your opponent to go negative. Roberts says your proposal to allow Americans to control how some of their Social Security contributions are invested is actually a new tax. What do you say to that?
Well, you said it yourself. Does it sound like when you can control how your money is spent that that's a new tax? I'm very clear about no new taxes. I signed a pledge to never raise taxes. If you look at my website and you read the very next sentence, it's very clear. No new taxes, no new payroll taxes. It's really a shame that he's taking that out of context and trying to create something that isn't there.
Let me be clear. This is your existing Social Security contribution. You would just control part of it,
right?
Not an additional.
It's a path to private retirement accounts. This is a long-standing conservative, mainstream conservative policy, and it's a way to keep Social Security solvent so that our seniors can continue getting their benefits, but future generations can actually have a solvent Social Security system.
Okay, Dan, Roberts and his supporters have dug through your Facebook account and are circulating a post from 2015. In it, you say the worst thing modern Christianity stands for is anti-homosexual marriage. You also say, quote, Trump's insane rhetoric is hateful, and you go on to call him an idiot. Now, what did you mean at that time? Explain that.
Well, first of all, those comments are drastically taken out of context. If you read that whole post, you know what I'm doing there? I am vigorously defending Christianity because leftists were trying to compare Christianity to Sharia law. That's what was going on at that time. And I stand by traditional marriage. I think the state should have been out of the institution of marriage, which is an inherently religious institution, a long time ago. Now, with respect to the comments on President Trump, you know, I supported a different candidate in the primary. I'm not ashamed of that. A lot of conservatives did. You know, he did say things that I didn't agree with, but I will be clear that I have stood by the president ever since he was elected as our GOP nominee. And that is, I have a long record of that, and he's doing great things for our country. And I just want to say, on this one in particular, this is a new low. That a fellow Christian would question my faith like this, I honestly can't believe it. And you know, it's really a new low in politics, even for politicians like Kevin. I mean, it's really a shame to see.
Well, Roberts has been on our program, and he's called himself a principled conservative with a clear record. Is there anything about his record that voters should know about?
You know, it's hard to say, Greg. Honestly, he spends a lot more time talking about me than he does about his own policies and messages. And, you know, if you really take a good look at both of our websites, I put a lot of time and effort and detail into my policies, whereas, you know, I would ask voters to go look at his. I have seen some, you know, independent third parties take a look at his record. He has some failing scores there on Fiscal Responsibility Index. But in the end, this is for voters to decide. And I would ask that they do the research. You know, I think I have a very strong conservative message. And, you know, voters need to decide that for themselves.
Considering that conservative message, the president has ordered troops to the border, and border security has been an issue of yours. Do you support that? And with your background, do you think these troops in a supportive role can be effective?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I'm on the record saying this quite a few times. I have a national security background, and I know what it takes to secure a border. Sometimes you just need more eyes and ears. Now, we need a lot more things than that, just to be clear. We need the border wall. We need technical surveillance like drone technology, sensor technology, aerostat technology. But for right now, because the president does need to keep his promise, and he's doing that, sending about 1,400 National Guardsmen down to the border, they will be the eyes and ears that will help out our Border Patrol agents on the ground. This is a huge issue for Texans. We're on the front lines, and we've been fronting the bill for this particular issue for a long time, and we're tired of it.
Dan, you literally ran across the district for Harvey relief. As you talk to voters now, 8 months after Harvey, does it remain their top concern, and what would you do in Congress?
This has been a huge issue for me right from the beginning. You know, when Hurricane Harvey hit, I was working with Team Rubicon to muck out my neighbors' homes, and I was so pleased to see just that Texan grit and resilience that we all know so well. Neighbors helping neighbors, church groups helping neighbors. It was just an amazing thing to see. And while campaigning, I've been trying to raise money for volunteer groups that are still out there every single day doing this. That's why I was running across the district. And I've been blessed to be able to work with Mattress Mac doing this as well, and helping some of these groups raise money. There's just so many great people in Houston coming together to get this done. I would urge voters to take a look at my website again versus Kevin's and see who puts in the most effort and detail on their flood policy write-ups. This is going to be the most important issue for Houstonians for a long time. It's an existential threat to us. We cannot afford another Hurricane Harvey. We have to have the infrastructure in place to prevent and mitigate future flooding. And there's different solutions for different parts of the district. On the west side, it's a reservoir problem, right? We need to repair and upgrade Addicks and Barker and possibly build that third reservoir. That study hasn't even started. That is a huge issue for us. We need the Army Corps of Engineers to start this immediately, or have Harris County step in and get it done. And this has to happen. There's multiple projects on the Lake Houston side, which is also my district, that also need to get done. And from Congress, you need to be that leadership. You need to be bringing the right people together to get this done. If there's funding that's needed and that needs to come from the federal side, we need to make that happen.
Quickly, as we move closer to Election Day, would you be willing to debate your opponent, Kevin Roberts, head-to-head?
Of course. I'm always willing to debate Kevin Roberts.
Right here on Fox 26?
Absolutely. Can't wait.
All right.